Okay guys, just another quick video, number two. It's still early. It's not much later than the first video I shot, but I wanted to put it in a little different lighting and talk a little bit about it. This is a 2000 Honda VFR 800 fuel injected, has been modified, and it's just too early to start it yet. This thing is so loud. I said it sounded like an Indy car on steroids. That's what it does sound like. Formula One. It's crazy incredible. It's really loud, but and really fast, despite what you might hear about these things. So you got to know how to bypass stuff. This thing, as I said in the last video, the stock exhaust has been removed, and there's basically no muffler. I got that little teeny thing there. These bikes did come with a catalytic converter. Some of you might be like, oh man, that slows it down. If you know how to build engines and stuff like I do, and understand back pressure and some other things, and know how to work with that, manipulate it, it can come to your advantage. So that's about all I'm going to say. You can, a lot of you guys do power commanders, do all these things, spend all this ridiculous money, and some of you can read this up on the internet, but there's a couple little tricks you can do with these 99-cent 300 ohm resistors that you see laying here. Here's 3 of them. I can't get it to focus, but there it goes. There's some things you can do. What happened with this bike, and you got to really dig to find out some of this information, and there's a lot of people arguing about it, but this is the fact. Okay, when they designed this new motor, okay, let me back up a little. This motor is, it's not 800, cc's. It's close to it, just like everything else, but it's pretty close to 800. It's almost 12-to-1 compression. It's gear-driven cams, okay? There's no chain. There's no tension there. There's none of that crap. This is a race-developed motor. The problem is they put it in a sport touring bike. And a lot of people, you wouldn't buy this bike to be a speed demon, and I want the best of both worlds. So, I kind of love it, because I took a 5-hour trip on it. It was awesome. I mean, I've ridden it like 8 hours. I rode it all day one day, and I mean, I wasn't sore. This thing's incredible. But anyway, like I say, this motor was developed after a race motor, and then they detuned the piss out of it and put it in this sport touring bike, and then everybody says, oh, they're slow. So whatever, put your ass on the seat of this thing and try to keep the front wheel down, and if you're not shaking when you come back, you'll see. I'll prove it to you. I mean, there's going to be some videos of this thing. You won't believe it. So anyway, I can't give all my secrets, because I do a little bit of street racing, and you don't always tell everything you got going on. Sooner or later, I will go into extreme detail about all the modifications. They do make a supercharger. I've heard it's discontinued or on hold right now, but they make a supercharger that adds horsepower. If you put it on a stock motor, I've seen disclaimers, 175, 180 horsepower to the rear wheel, so to speak. There's a bunch of numbers. I've seen dyno sheets, that kind of stuff, but it's $5,000 for a supercharger. Like I say, I spent 99 cents, and I'm not going to say I'm up there pushing that or anything, but I'm just going to tell you that it's well over stock to the rear wheel right now, and it just chews tires up, not even spinning. These, I just put another one on there. That's what's really cool about these single-sided swing arms. People spend thousands of dollars to get this on their bike custom, and this bike comes with it. It takes 30 seconds to remove the rear wheel. You basically drop that center stand, the bike's in the air, and you take those 4 bolts off. It's that easy, and the tire is off. You don't have to mess with the brake or anything. It's freaking cool as hell. Track day, it's awesome. But I'd probably get another thousandth of a second faster if I got rid of that center stand, but I love it so much. I've actually worked around it and modified it a little bit to work, because the stock muffler has a bracket that holds the swing arm, so I've had to modify a little bit. As you know, in the last video, the thing was really damaged, wasn't running, and basically it's going to get torn apart and rebuilt. But to this thing is just super cool, and I just wanted to talk a little more about it before I get it started. And I hope you continue to follow along with this adventure that I'm going on with this thing. I don't know, man, you know, like I said, I've been on motorcycles since I was a little kid. You know, I've been riding 40 years, and I can't get enough of it. You know, it just seems like I'm on a sport bike. You know, I mean, it's ridiculous. I used to ride Harleys. That's all I would ride. I'd work on anything, but I wouldn't ride anything else. And I kept having to make them faster and faster, and never sought out a sport bike. It just, I would buy and sell bikes and work on bikes, and I ended up riding sport bikes. So this is what I'm riding right now, and the thing's really cool. So anyway, these things have a cult following, and it's basically sacrilegious to modify them in this manner, and to put these stickers on them. But it was too mild for me. The windshield was like upswept, real tall. I cut that down. I modified that myself by hand. You would never be able to tell because that's how effing good I am. But anyway, that's been done. I just slapped some dumb stickers on it to make it look more aggressive, because I'm aggressive. It sounds aggressive. It needs to look aggressive. Some of you might think it looks stupid. I don't give a shit what you think about that. But I do appreciate you all watching and following me. But opinions are, anyway. So anyway, had too much coffee. But anyway, follow along with this thing. It's going to be cool.